firmly in my head. Heal your mind and feel of lead. Thoughts stay firmly in my head. Heal your mind and feel of lead. Thoughts stay firmly in my head. Heal your mind and feel of lead. My thoughts stay firmly in my head.
Oh, nice to see you.
Hello.
This is Stephanie.
Hey Stephanie, how's it going?
Yes.
So what are we doing today? I don't actually know. I've been kind of like not staying in the room.
Explain to each one individually. Sorry.
That's fine. So the plan is basically to make it as spontaneous as possible.
Okay.
So to begin, you can tell me a bit about why you're here and your favorite places and stories and everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Whatever. I
So-
don't really. I'm easy.
It's good.
I was just watching it. Have you ever seen Chicken Shop Date?
Yeah.
Chicken shop dates.
Yeah.
Amelia de Mondelberg.
You need to watch this.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
basic. She's
Okay,
like
I've seen-
super
I've seen-
famous now.
Ah.
But basically, she started by like interviewing like grime like rappers and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that in chicken shops and all around London.
Yeah.
But now she's got they're always dates, so she's like purposely
It's supposed to be
awkward.
a date.
Oh gosh.
And it's but it's brilliant. Like they're so perfectly awkward. Like
It's a good idea.
But
Because
now
dates are already quite watchable. Like if I'm out for dinner, like watching other people on a date is so fascinating. Like,
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
awkward.
Yeah,
like-
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few of them. They are quite
But now she's getting like contacted. She got emailed by contacted by Drake and stuff
Oh,
like that
wow.
because she's getting huge.
So hi.
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 Why are we here? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, this is Dawsons Hill. It's about 5 minutes from my house. What is the area? I suppose it's like
Forest Hill.
Forest Hill,
Forest Hill,
Dulwich
Dulwich.
sort of way. And I think of it as quite a nice little hidden gem because we've got a lovely backdrop of London, but it's unspoiled because there's no one else here. Usually, if anything in London is good, it just gets overrun and spoiled straight away. But yeah, this one's still pretty undiscovered, which is quite nice.
It's very panoramic, as we were speaking about just a minute ago. It's quite like it's quite hidden. Nobody really knows about it apart from us and the people sat over there,
In fact,
obviously.
on the New Year's Eve, it's quite a big place because you can see all the fireworks and stuff. But yeah, no, it's a nice little spot, I think. I hope you agree.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And there's also a very nice kind of brutalist estate just behind the camera, but it is all scaffolded, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's a bit disappointing, but it's usually really nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any funny remembering stories from here or around here?
Well, I remember coming here before the England Euro final. That you're so full of hope and excitement. So I can hold on to that memory until the evening, and then got beat by Italy, obviously. So that soured the memory a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the funniest
Not
of
the
stories.
best. Not the best memory.
But no, it does take me back to that.
No, it's just generally a really nice place to come when it's sunny. So yeah, it's somewhere we come a lot. Yeah.
I don't.
Marcus has never been here. So,
Okay.
yeah.
What are your initial thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's lovely.
It is. It is lovely.
So where do you usually go then if you don't come here?
For what?
I don't know, just to chill or whatever.
I don't know. I'm quite close to Brockwell Parks, you know, chill time, or the pub. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. We should have thought more about the about the funny story aspect.
It's just a nice place.
Yeah, it's just a very nice place. Yeah. I think all of our funny stories are attached to bars rather than parks, but this is just a very nice place.
I think we need some other questions.
Yeah.
don't we?
Do you want? Yeah.
And so then talking about the band, I haven't talked to you for a long time. So tell me what's been happening.
Nothing at all. Actually.
No, that's not true. No, we got recording. We'll be recording 4, maybe 5 songs this month. So we've been writing music a lot. Obviously, something big happened in 2020, which meant we couldn't really gig. So tried to use the time to get into a more creative headspace. And so yeah, like this is the culmination of all that. So back in the studio soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we've been sort of taking it really easy, like really only like a couple of singles in a couple of years. Everything just really slowed down. I was in 2019, we had loads of good gigs, like all of them were quite good, and it was kind of getting quite good, and then obviously it all had to stop for a couple of years. So it's just sort of been trying to find our way back to being a band again. But yeah, I think we've got now 5 quite solid songs that we're going to be recording like next week or the week after or something. But yeah, that's going to be exciting as well, just to get back on the wagon and give it a big push again.
We did release a song last year as well, which was called Castello 5, and we made a video for it, in which we learnt a dance routine.
We filmed the whole thing in your flat, actually.
Yeah,
I broke my toe just before we started filming the dancing as well, which was fucking agonising. Do you remember that? So
yeah.
So we set up like a green screen in my house, and we had our shoes off, and my girlfriend had been polishing her plants. That's not euphemism. Yeah, and all the floor was all slippery, so I slipped and kicked the side of the board, and broke my toe. And then we started filming the music video. So
Well, we'd spent so long learning this stupid dance routine.
Okay.
So it's the most physical music video that we've done. And then for the toe thing to happen just before, it's kind of just not ideal, really. But yeah, my sister is a choreographer, so we thought it'd be funny to get us dancing in a kind of boy band-esque fashion. But the problem was I don't think she realised that we wanted it to be kind of silly. So she was thinking way too much about the moves, and I kept having to tell her, like, don't worry about it, just give us anything, we'll do it. And she kept coming back with these different things, and so
we learned the dance routine and then showed her, and so we were trying to do it as serious as possible, and she was like, oh, I love how you've gone with the real kind of loose, messy sort of vibe. So no, I'm trying the absolute hardest to dance now, you know. Like,
it's not intentional.
Yeah. But no, of all of us, I think Mark was probably the best at it. Wasn't he? He picked it up the best.
Well, you know, my sister did use me as a bit of a guinea pig when we were growing up. When she was making up dance routines, I had no choice but just to go along with it. So, you know, I've kept a bit of that skill that I'd honed, and it came out, didn't it?
It really did. Yeah.
It came out in style.
Phenomenal.
I don't think of us as much of like a dancey band. I don't know how you'd dance to Fabricators, but well, that's how you do it. See the Castello 5 video to find out.
And even Joe gave it a good go. Joe's not with us today, unfortunately. Shout out to Joe.
Yeah, where are you, Joe?
Shout out to Joe.
I think in all the interviews we've done, he's never quite made it. I think he just doesn't like talking.
Yeah. But even he threw himself into it, and you know, I remember a time when we were filming the video where, in between shots, we were all just chilling. I turned around and Joe was practicing his moves. So that was my favourite moment from the whole shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, aside from recording and Castello 5,
Yeah.
that's pretty much been it. But we'll see what the future holds, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard there's some gigs coming.
Yeah, what have we got? So we've booked an EP launch in July. We haven't got the EP yet, but it's nice to have something to aim for, you know?
Yeah.
So you do the gig, do the EP launch, and then we're going to go and record that in the next couple of weeks, so that'd be good. And in September, we're going to Portugal to play our first overseas festival in Porto. This thing at the Hard Club, so that's by far the biggest gig offer we've ever had, and it was supposed to happen like a couple of years ago, and then the pandemic happened and all that, so it's been delayed. But that's really exciting. So our friends in this other band played there, and it just looked amazing. Just so much bigger audiences than we're used to, and that's something quite exciting in the calendar coming up. So I can't wait for that. It's going to be great.
Ivy House as well?
Yeah, Ivy House, the EP launch.
Oh, that's the one.
Yes, that's going to be in July. But
I think we're trying to just do kind of less gigs, I think, though, and make the ones we do better, bigger crowds. Because I think we were doing a lot 2 a month, 3 a month before, and it was hardly getting much of a crowd. It's quite hard to maintain.
it is hard to know exactly how many to do, because you have some bands that you can see they just do gigs every single week, and that's great, but I think with us, you can over bake it a bit, and if you're mostly staying in London, then you're not going to be able to drag loads of people along every time. So trying to spread them out, but make sure they're really good when you do them.
It's just close to where we all live, isn't it? That's it.
Yeah.
Middle point.
It's not that interesting, but I work quite close to the Shard.
What do you...
So I work close to the Shard.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And run home from there sometimes.
Legend.
Wow.
Wow.
7 kilometres, easy. So, yeah.
You're such a dick.
No, don't know what my best time would be. Let me think. Don't know, 40 minutes or something. It's probably not quite that.
I would take 3 hours. Well, there's no publicity for me, but...
That's light.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, it is light, isn't it?
It's light, isn't it? It's very light.
Yeah, I love this one.
Wow.
I still think we should do some kind of live performance thing where you are painting.
Well, we always had
one of
that
us would need
idea.
to jump on the drums. Who's the second best drummer in the Fabs?
I'd say
It's probably you, but you're
Probably
pretty
me.
grand.
That's why I
James-
asked. That's why I asked the question. Yeah, it's probably
James
me.
does have
You're
a...
about as good as the drums as I
I've
am
got one
guitar.
beat.
He's
I've
got
got
one
one
beat.
beat, which is perfect. Yeah, but it's very limited.
Yeah, you got your beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
But
definitely
I
the
think
second
I still think we should do that. It just requires a space, because then we bring everything else. It's really about the video aspect of the visual, and
I think
obviously sound.
George Tavern might be a good place for that. If we put down a sheet, just got quite loose with it, just real repetitive sort of can-esque.
best. So yeah.
I don't know. I think not. It needs to be basically an art gallery studio vibe.
Yeah. But it's it would be cool, wouldn't it?
I think
It'd be good.
I think we've got to do something like that, something a little bit different. Because as a band, all you can really do is music video and release songs on streaming gigs. Just to mix it up a little bit. I think I'd like to do something like that.
So would the art be influenced by the music and vice versa?
Yeah, that's the idea. Oh, there's always time.
Yeah. Watch this space.
Yeah.
Worst gigs?
Yeah, you want to tell me about it?
Yeah. What was your worst ever gig with us?
Me?
Oh yeah, but Marcus first. Maybe.
I can't even remember.
Marcus, what was your worst?
Worst gig. I can't actually remember the place, but you'll know where I'm talking about. It's in central London. and
St. Moritz Club?
St. Moritz
Okay.
Club. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
try and think of a new one then. Sounds good.
Mainly because it was just everything was bad. We were told to turn the sound down immediately, which we were punk bands.
We've had that a few times.
quite a few
but
times.
Being
I've got a
asked to
new one.
turn down, it's when you're trying to
Oh, I know
get
where you're
into
going to say
it. Just
actually.
being
I've
asked
got
to
a new
turn
one.
down is
You
really
stick to
a
yours.
vibe killer.
Yeah, that's really...
Yeah, it's not ideal, is it?
I think the St. Moritz one there was probably about 3 people watching and 4 of us
well,
on stage.
the main thing, you turned up after being like in the pub all
Oh
day.
yeah,
I do remember
fucked as
James
well,
was very drunk.
Yeah.
I do.
And as soon as you turned up, I was like, yeah, this is going to be absolutely a waste of time.
See, I can hardly remember it.
I do have a memory of turning up at a similar time to Marcus, I think, and then we spoke to James for the first time, and we looked at each other and went, "Oh dear."
See, my memory of it, like, I don't remember being really drunk, but I kind of. Yeah,
It was James's best gig ever, and our worst in his mind.
And
Oh
also,
God, yeah,
I do
that
have
was
another memory of that gig, because every now and again, if James is slightly more drunk than usual, he might do a bit more on-stage banter. And I seem to remember you launched into some kind of a monologue, and then Hazel, his girlfriend, ran up to him whilst he was on stage and told him to stop.
Oh, no.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
What gig was this?
St Moritz.
Really?
Wow. You start to do some kind of a rambly monologue, like in between the songs. And then I think Hazel just went, like, kind of went up to you and just, no. Or at least just shouted it. So.
Oh my God.
Which was funny because there was only 3 people watching.
Yeah.
Many,
What a mess. Yeah, that was shit.
Yeah.
Good gig.
We're good at talking about our worst gigs.
I'm like, I think I'm usually alright with the between song banter, but
Oh, you are, yeah.
but yeah.
But that
Oh
one just
God,
wasn't your best.
If we could watch footage of that back, I'd fucking kill myself. Probably, I'd hate to see that. Like, it'd be so bad.
Yeah.
What other gig were you thinking of? Like, really bad
There's
ones?
a fox right behind you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that would be good.
Let's get him involved. Oh, he's actually coming
go.
to
Oh, no,
us.
Oh yes, do you want to
He'll be fine. He won't do anything.
Shall I give him some ba 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 baby bell?
You don't get that in Luxembourg.
Yeah, no.
Seems to agree with him.
Yeah. He's probably thinking, have you got any Gouda?
He's like, I'm more of an elemental guy.
I've got Manchego crisps.
Yeah. I mean, he is a fox. He'll eat anything. Have you ever seen the Mighty Boosh sketch? The crack fox.
The crack fox, yeah.
He's
Do you reckon he'd
absolutely
like
terrifying.
a Dairy Dunker? The fox is like...
This is the segment. What cheese do fox like?
Yeah. Special episode.
I've always thought that would be a good show. What cheese does
I
foxes
think about it
like?
most days. Yeah.
Yeah.
What cheese do foxes most like? There must be a lot of research on it already, but like.
I like what cheese does foxes like.
It does.
So yeah.
That's probably the
What cheese
the
does foxes
title. That's the title of the series. What cheese does foxes?
Oh god. Yeah. Anyway, what was?
Yeah, you were gonna say your worst.
Oh yeah.
gig.
So the. Should I pick up the mic? Is that right?
Yeah.
So. My worst gig is we played this place called Vinyl.
Vinyl.
Which was
record,
a record shop, and obviously not really a venue, but often you get gigs, like in-store gigs in record shops. So we did one of those. So we got booked. A couple of bands before us, and they were good, but they weren't so loud or like heavy. And I think often people that book you, they don't really know what you are. So we started playing, and then after a few songs, this guy came from upstairs as part of the record shop, I think he was, and he told us to like turn down, which as like a kind of heavy, kind of punky kind of band is not really like ideal if you're trying to get into it. But I just remember like there was one part where we were halfway through a song because he'd already told us to turn down in between songs. But I was just about to like launch into like a solo or something. I was mid riff, and he came up to me and was just like, "Can you turn down?" I'm just like, I'm halfway through a song. I can't. There's people watching. I can't just like stop and turn down. Like, but it wasn't even that loud. I didn't think.
It's always the issue. Like, well, Marcus is really a really loud drummer, so like to even be heard, you have to be loud. There's nothing worse than being asked to turn down, like in the middle of a song, like just the gig isn't going to be good from that point. Like if you've already been at one volume, now it's got to be quieter. Like might as well just stop. Like
So that was just awful memories.
Yeah. My worst ever gig was Cargo. Which
Cargo.
I Were you there?
They're
You
still,
might have been
they're
there.
still
I
paying for
promoted
it.
Yeah.
Which
I'm-
actually-
I'm very glad to say they've closed down
Yeah.
as of about last week.
Thank fuck.
So
The
good
worst.
riddance.
I mean,
It was about like
everyone
I don't know.
hates
So
that
we were
place.
like obviously like a small band, unknown, £10 tickets, which is already quite mad. Like
Yeah.
a few people came down, and the support acts went on and on and on and on, and we were headlining. But
Yeah.
we were given, you know, so people have paid £10 to come in, and we were given just before we go on stage. It was like you've got 15 minutes. It's like 15 minutes for the whole gig,
Oh, wow.
and so it was awful. There weren't enough people there anyway, so the room was really sparse. We had 15 minutes to go, so I was furious. I played through 3 songs. It was fucking awful, and then I threw my guitar on the floor at the end of it and broke the neck of the guitar as well. So everything about that gig was just like, it's the worst.
But
Yeah,
do
the
you
worst
not?
ever.
Do you remember as well? One of the support acts had played at Eurovision.
Oh,
and
yeah,
she
yeah,
had like,
yeah.
she had like 2 million views or whatever.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, God, you've hit a low point playing. You're
Oh, God,
supporting
You're
us.
supporting us. Oh my god.
Wasn't there like a karaoke style act before us? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. She's like
Yeah.
In between that person and us going on, it was almost like someone just asked to do a few songs, and it was just
Oh.
some lady playing to a backing track,
Oh.
which didn't really help.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was.
no.
No, I always remember as well, like, so Tugboat Captain, like, whenever our worst gigs happen, there's always someone from Tugboat there. I always think, like, you know, whenever we're at our lowest, like, there's always someone watching. It's like, you know, they're kind of our mates, and you don't always want to look awful in front of your mates, but it's like,
Yeah, they have turned up to some of our worst gigs.
it's always a shame. But yeah.
And I think it was about £10 for a can of Red Stripe or something.
Yeah. It was just
If I
just
remember
one of those,
rightly.
just
It's
yeah.
a very expensive bar.
That's the thing with gigs, like you want everyone to turn up and have a laugh, but it would have been impossible to enjoy yourself that night for so many different reasons.
And
like-
they'd have paid £10 to get in, and then they paid £10 for a drink, and they're like, God, these better be good.
Yeah.
And there's footage of you throwing your guitar as well.
Yeah.
He didn't. You kind of just
I
like.
kind of just threw
let
it
go
down
of
in
it,
annoyance. Yeah, it wasn't like a rock and roll moment. I was just so like, annoyed. Yeah, no, that was awful.
But we've had some good ones. As well.
There have been some. I would say the ratio of like good to bad over the course of the whole thing is like maybe 6 good to 4 bad or something.
Oh,
maybe it's
so-
not that bad. Maybe
yeah.
more like 7 good, 3 bad. A lot of them are middling, and there's
Yeah.
been about 5 really good shows, I would say.
Yeah.
But I think that's the whole deal with.
But that's
play-
just playing in a band.
Exactly.
You,
At
you
our
have
level.
to play like I mean, who knows us? Not many people, right? So
It's quite character building as well. Like
Yeah.
when you imagine yourself like playing in front of people, it's always when you fantasize about it, it's always like great, and everyone's fucking like knows every word somehow, and like everyone's like really enjoying it. But yeah, it's quite like you get up, it's like you have to learn how to die on stage a little bit, don't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I always love hearing other band stories like of the same kind of thing, because it's not all glamorous.
It's
Yeah.
none of it's glamorous.
None of it's
I would say.
glamorous, none of it's glamorous.
there's been very few moments where I thought, yeah, I'm a musician. You know, like yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Most of it's just a struggle, but there is some beauty in the struggle. I think there's some fun in it.
yeah, you got to love it. Otherwise, you'd be a madman to do it. Basically.
Yeah, you